Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm still in my Star Wars mood and really craving to build another Star Wars MOC. I was playing around with my minifigures, which is what I do when I need to decompress and take a breather from the world. I like to make custom minifigures because they help me come up with stories in my head, and usually these stories give me ideas for stuff to build. I made this little Cal Kestis minifigure from the Jedi Fallen Order games. I'm not a huge gamer. I mostly like to spend my free time building, playing soccer, and watching movies. However, the first game is one of my favorite video games, and probably one of the best pieces of content from this new era of Star Wars. I built a Jedi Fallen Order MOC a couple years ago, and I thought now would be a good time to build another one. I am basing this new MOC off of the planet Bogano, or Bogano? I honestly have no idea. But I want it to be a relatively small MOC. It will be all light bluish gray landscaping. I may add a black base to it if I feel like it's necessary. There will be some green plants and shrubbery, and also some small details like crates, flags, and antennas. After playing around with my minifigures for a little bit longer, I got to work. I always start by cleaning off my work desk. I then begin building using these 16 by 16 plates for the base of my MOC. Like I've said before, they give me a stable base to build off of. Since this will be a smaller MOC, I'm only using 2 16 by 16 plates and 1 8 by 16 plate. I connect all of these with some regular 2x4 bricks. Next, I added some modified bricks with studs on the side all around the outside of the plates. When you add 2 plates to the bottom of these specific modified bricks, you are then able to add plates to the side of the modified brick with it being completely flush with the ground. This allows me to build rockwork off of the sides. I then add some plates to the bottom of my MOC so that it is 2 plates thick under the modified bricks. Next, I want to build up the sides of the MOC, so I'm using some snot bricks again so I can build up the rockwork off of them. I don't plan on adding rockwork to the back of the MOC since it won't be seen in pictures, so I'm just using these big support pieces. These are my favorite support pieces because they always make me feel like I'm an actual construction worker building something. To finish off this bottom layer, I top it off with another layer of big plates. This will just make all of the walls more stable. I am basically just making a big box with studs on every side besides the back, so I can easily build the rockwork off of it. Now that the top plates are locked in, I add a couple more plates to the outside layer on top, and then some more modified bricks with studs on the side on top of those. Next, I started using regular 2x4 and 2x6 bricks to roughly build the rockwork. I do this to build out the rockwork and create the shape. I then will go in and add all of the fun slopes. There are tons of different creative ways to build rockwork, and I'm always impressed with how innovative some builders are, but for me this works best and allows me to keep everything very solid and stable. I get asked a lot where I buy all of my LEGO. The truth is a huge portion of my parts collection is from taking apart 90% of the sets I've accumulated over the past 20 years. But I also get parts from Pick-a-Brick and Bricklink. I highly recommend Bricklink. Here are some of my favorite types of slopes, wedges, and tiles I like to use when building rockwork. I included the part number and name so you can easily find the parts on Bricklink. It was now time to start using all those fun parts to build the landscape. For this MOC, I did a lot of building sideways. What that means is most of the rockwork will flow from left to right versus up and down. I wanted to add some color to the landscaping and decided on some olive green. I added small patches of it to break up some of the gray. Doing builds like this when it is mostly landscaping is always hard because it never looks how you want it to when you first start building. I highly recommend just keep building and trust the process. You can always go back and fix something later if you don't like the shape of something, but just keep building and don't break up your workflow by thinking too hard about the decisions you are making. Sometimes the randomness of it makes the landscaping look a lot better. In the game, you do a lot of climbing and jumping around, so I wanted to add parts that resemble a natural climbing wall that Cal can use to get around the MOC. The second level of the MOC is now mostly done, so again I add more support pieces in the back and close everything up on top with big plates. I filled in some of the gaps on top of the MOC and continued working on the landscaping by adding more gray slopes and wedges and olive green 1x2 plates and tiles. One of the last parts of the MOC I needed to finish was the top section of landscape. I used the same techniques with snot bricks as the walls, and then I just built off of them. I also added more supports in the back to stabilize and lock it all in. I wanted to add some printed pieces and found a couple of these printed wooden tiles that I felt like would make a good ladder. I also felt like the landscape needed another color. I decided on medium nougat. I used a lot of tiles and rounded half tiles to create a little dirt path on top of the olive green color. Finally, it was time to add some of the plants and shrubbery. I experimented with a couple different options. I finally decided on these spiky dark green plant pieces. I thought they looked the best. I woke up really early this day to finish the final touches on this MOC and needed a little bit of coffee to boost my morale.
Coffee. The bitter liquid that provides the only semblance of pleasure left in these dark times.
Oh. I got together the last bit of details and accessories like minifigures, crates, animals, flags, pots, and bags. I may not use all of these items because I don't want the build to become too overcrowded. Here is a quick view of the backside of the MOC. Again, you can see all of the support pieces I used. I now get out my lightbox to take pictures of my build. I get a lot of questions about my lightbox. I got mine on Amazon back in 2019, and it is the Amazon Basics Portable Foldable Photo Studio Box. It's a very long name. I've linked to it below, and it is the only lightbox I've ever used, so I can't compare it to anything else, but it has worked well for me over the years, and it folds up well.